Hey Rangers fans and hockey fans, it's Neil here from Post to Post, and we got a jersey leak yesterday. We got some teaser images earlier in the morning, and then later in the day we got some better ones. And we're going to look at all of them, well not all of them, we're going to look at 4 images. The first 2 that I saw in the first, mini leak, and then the full jersey, the last 2 photos that I saw, which are the whole thing. So if you have not seen it, be very curious to hear your thoughts down below in the comments section, and let's jump right into it. Let's bring up the first one, and this was posted online, and I got this image directly from sportslogos.net. Chris Creamer posted that up there, and he found the photo via offerup.com. Now, immediately, I am happy, because I am in that camp that would love to see this official primary logo on the front of a Rangers jersey versus, it's say Rangers or New York or whatever on the front. And this is fine, it has its place, but it's not their primary official logo. This is what we're seeing here is, and I think that is long overdue. So I love to see that. And I know there's no right or wrong, and everyone has personal preferences. My personal preference is just to see the actual primary logo on the front. So very happy with that. The darker blue, kind of like in this jersey, we can tell that's awesome as well. So my impression was that regardless of the rest of the jersey, I was going to think pretty favorable of it. That changed a little bit. Let's go to the next photo. So we got the collar, we got the size, and we got the price, and some striping in the background as well. So in the collar, it says blue shirts with some kind of like squares and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The price of $2.30, that is a Canadian price, which is unfortunate to see it go up to $2.30 because it used to be $1.99, and then it went to $2.09. And then now it's $2.30. Like it's getting up there. That's a lot of money, a lot of coin. The background, which was the most interesting part of this for me, which was the striping. So we can see some red stripe, a white stripe, and then if you look very closely, it's a little hard to see, a blue stripe that's lighter than the blue of the actual jersey here. So that threw me for a loop a little bit. And off to the left, you can see another like red color. Initially, I thought that was red coming off of like this seam point here coming down the arm. And I thought, okay, maybe they're going for that mid-70s kind of look. But then I realized that that's just the stripe in the background continuing underneath. So there's actually no red on the shoulder that I can see because it's folded there. And so I didn't really know the direction that they were going, but I was still hopeful. And then we got the actual jersey in full flesh. Let's take a look at it. There it is. So these photos came from Twitter, at least that's where I found them, and they are at CPARISI94. I'll put that up on the screen as well over the image. Feel free to give them a follow. I have no idea if they took the photos or where they found them, but that is where the credit is going here. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's go back to the collar just for a second. It says blue shirts. That is a popular nickname for the New York Rangers. I believe it dates back to like the 20s, 30s, 40s, somewhere around there. And I think the original nickname was like Broadway Blue Shirts or the Broadway Blue Shirts, something like that. So that's kind of where that came from. I don't know what all those little squares represent. I don't know if that's like the Broadway lights or if that's lights on the top of a police car, or I don't know. It does feel very like police honoring. And if that's their intention, that's totally fine. I think that's actually pretty cool. But it doesn't, I don't know, it's a little bit conflicting. I think it's the stripes, because the stripes feel classic, but like classically overdone to it's almost a modern. It almost creates a bit of a staged gradient in a way. It's just a lot of striping on the arms. Like the bottom of the jersey is amazing. The top of the jersey is amazing. The middle of the jersey is amazing. But the arms, and if you notice the seam points, this was one of the first things I noticed. The seam points, if you go follow the numbers, just below the numbers, there's a line. That's the seam point, and then the stripes, and then another seam point. That's a sublimation print section of the jersey. I don't love that. I understand why they did it, because there's a lot of striping, but it's just, I don't know. It feels almost cheap in a way, or it looks cheap. And because of all the striping, I think it's a little bit conflicting. It's a little bit busy, but I will say this isn't just going to be a jersey. We have to consider the entire uniform. And if we look at the striping on the sleeves, I have to assume that same striping will be replicated on the socks. And with that in mind, I think this could be a very nice uniform. So although I don't really love how much repetitive striping there is, and it is very busy, I think complemented that with the socks, we could have a pretty nice looking uniform here actually. So I'm looking forward to seeing the full uniform. Let's go on to the next one, which shows the name on the back, the number kit and stuff. And you saw some of the numbers on the first or the previous image that we looked at, but we can see the entire thing here now. And I'll give them points for readability, because just plain white on the dark blue makes it super easy to read. But with that said, you have such intense stylization and design language on the arm with all of that striping and all of that color. I'm a little surprised that we don't get some kind of classic New York Rangers drop shadow on the numbers and stuff that everyone loves. It's awesome. A little surprised to not see that, and even more surprised to not see any kind of stroke, blue stroke, red stroke, whatever. Just something to add a little bit more separation. But you can't say that it doesn't look good from a readability perspective. So I understand why they did it. It does look good. I was just expecting a little bit more. I want to go back to the previous image just very quickly and talk about the primary logo again. I think this was a wonderful decision to go with this logo. I think it makes total sense, but I will point out something. I want to go back to the, I guess the original photo that we looked at. Look at the blue of the jersey. It almost looks black. Look at the blue in the logo. It almost looks black. Now let's go back to the other one. Look at the blue in the logo and look at the blue in the jersey. Different materials. They reflect light differently. So I don't know if there are actual literal different shades here happening because of this image. I've not seen any others. I think there are some others. I just haven't looked at them, but I would be curious to see this, number one, in person, and number two, from different angles, because if it's not the same blue, hypothetically, if it's not the same blue, you've got three different blues happening here. The dark blue in the jersey, the light blue on the arms, and then a potentially different blue in the logo. And I think that's a little bit too clashing. I would like to see some more cohesiveness there from a color standpoint. But I love that logo on the front. It looks really good. I think it's long overdue. So I love that this is the new alternate jersey with that logo. I think it's going to look way better in uniform than it is a singular jersey here. So it's not my favorite direction that they could have gone, but it's definitely not the worst. And curious to see this in full uniform. So I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you like this? Do you think this was a miss? Let me know what you think. And more images have been released and will be released, and we will check out the full uniform and official release once that happens. So expect that video. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button. We'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.